Hello and welcome to the guilt of losing it with your kids. This is for mums and we're going to be doing some EFT. So a couple of months ago, I created a Facebook group called the Chill Out Zone for Frazzled Mums. And I wonder if the people who are watching are part of the group. I can't really tell, but maybe you are, and maybe you can let me know. If you're not, I'm going to post a link to the group now, and if you're a frazzled mum, then feel free to join. And it's a group to help mums regain their calm and enjoy their kids more. And one mum recently posted something about how she felt so guilty because she'd lost it with her child, got angry with them. And lots of mums came to support her, which was really lovely, and saying that they've experienced the same thing, as indeed I have, like, done things that I've felt guilty about. And so I decided to do a blab about it, and I'm going to offer you some EFT, which I'll explain to you what it is later, where you can actually release some of that guilt so that you don't feel that you need to compensate for that guilt, but you can become more present with your children. So what I find is that guilt can create a cloud of separation between you and your child, whereas like if you allow yourself to feel and acknowledge the guilt, it can be quite different. So for example, let's say a mum loses it and shouts with her child, at her child, and she feels really guilty about it. She might try and compensate for that by letting him watch his favorite TV show, for example, or something like that. And instead, if she can be present with herself and her child, she might then find a way of being able to say to them, I'm really sorry, I was stressed or overwhelmed, or I had so much to do, and it wasn't your fault, it was me entirely, and I love you very much. So that's something that could really help children if you do kind of notice that you're feeling guilty about something. So what we're going to do is do some tapping on that. Now, if you haven't experienced tapping before, it's called EFT. It stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, and it's like acupuncture for emotions without the use of needles, and you can do it on yourself. I'm going to be doing it, and the invitation is, if you'd like to, you can follow along with me, and by doing so, I invite you to take responsibility for your own well-being. So what I invite you to do is to think of a situation where something happened and you lost it. Maybe you got angry, or maybe you lost your patience, or you were frustrated, or you just completely lost it with your child, and just one specific event. And when you think of that event, if you had to rate the feeling of guilt about that event on a scale of 0 to 10, where 10 is the most guilty you could possibly feel, 0, no guilt at all, where would you put that? And if you would like to, you're live on the show now, and you can type in the message bar. Either you can type in what the situation that you felt guilty about, or you could just type in the number of the level of guilt right now, so that you can do that on the live chat bar on the right hand side. So if you've got that now, then just simply tap along with me, do what I do and say what I say. I know it can feel really strange if you've never done it before, and if I say anything or do anything that doesn't feel right, just simply don't do it. Okay, so tapping on the side of your hand, say, even though, and you repeat after me, even though I have this memory and I feel really guilty about it, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though when I think of this memory, I feel really guilty, I acknowledge myself now, and I'm open to the possibility of accepting myself. Oh, SJ, thank you. 9. Okay, great. So I hope you're tapping along. If you want me to make it personal to you, then you can give your event a title. You don't have to give me details, but you can give your event a title and I'll use that title for you. So I'll just carry on as I'm doing, but if I see the message, then I'll use that. Okay, so even though I'm feeling really guilty about that event, I acknowledge myself now, and I'm open to the possibility of accepting myself and my anger and my rage and my frustrations and my impatience. So tapping through the points now, starting with the top of the head, all this guilt that I feel when I think about this event, all this guilt. And notice where you feel it in your body, all this guilt that I feel in my, and just fill in the blank. All this guilt in my, when I think about what I did, and when I think about what happened, all this guilt. In my, and just say where you feel it in your body. When I think about what happened, I feel so bad. And I can't forgive myself. And I've been holding on to it for all this time. And it stops me being present with my child. All this guilt that I'm feeling in my body. I wonder how it would be if I could release some of it. And have compassion for myself, knowing that I was doing the best I could with the resources I had. Open to the possibility of being kind to myself and finding a way of having some ease and some spaciousness about what happened. And if it happened a long time ago, you can just imagine or visualize this next bit happening in your mind. So just imagine or visualize or get a sense that you're saying to your little one, saying, I'm so sorry. I lost it. And I was angry. And I was so stressed. And if these words aren't the right words, just say the right words for you. I was so overwhelmed. And I was so stressed. And it wasn't your fault. I know you were just being a child. You were just doing your thing. And I'm the adult. And I love you very much. I'm sorry. They love you very much. And put your hands in the center of your chest and say transform, and take a deep breath. Transform. So now think about that event again and notice how you feel. There might be different things going on. So you might feel different sensations in your body when you think about that guilt, or the guilt might have, sometimes it can go up, which means that maybe you've buried it and suddenly it's come to the surface. If that's the case, please don't stop tapping. Please rewind this video and do the tapping again, because it will lower. Sometimes it can go up before it goes down. Sometimes it might not have changed at all, in which case it's showing some kind of resistance, and that would probably need a bit more perseverance. So again, you can rewind the video. If it is a bit sticky and stuck, one thing that you can try and do is, instead of tapping on the side of your hand when I say even though, you could try rubbing your sore spot, which is just a tender area anywhere around here. Just feel which area feels tender and then rub it. So it would be so we'll just do a round like this for now. Even though I really feel guilty and I can't let go of this, I can't forgive myself, I deeply and completely accept myself and my guilt, even though I feel so guilty, and I'm going to continue punishing myself. I'm open to the possibility of finding a way of letting this go. Even though I'm really stuck with this, I soothe and comfort myself. And then you can do another tapping round the way we've been doing before, through with the points. And hopefully it might have gone down. So I don't know, SJ, if you're still on the call with me, maybe you want to let me know, has it changed, gone up, stayed the same, gone down? And if so, you can type in where you're at with it now. If it's gone down maybe just a notch, you can repeat the video again and try it again, and keep doing it until it goes down even more. So one thing that it is true, and this is what my daughter keeps reminding me, because we all lose it with our kids sometimes. It's just, you know, we're not perfect, we never will be, and we need to stop trying being perfect. And so one thing that my daughter keeps reminding me of is that she says, I may have pushed your button, but I didn't put it there. And that's so true, because we all have our buttons, and they all they do get pushed, but they didn't put them there. And so there are going to be reasons why we get angry, and we might kind of say, oh, it's my kids. But actually, if we go back and we can release the reasons why we get angry in the first place, then we can release the likelihood of losing it with our kids. Although, sometimes we might do, but it will be less frequent and less often. And sometimes we can actually nip it in the bud before it actually happens. So that could be, if that's something that interests you, of how we can then go back and release the likelihood of getting angry in the first place, then that's probably a topic for another blab that I can do another time. So if you're watching this and you're interested in finding out how to help remove your buttons so that they don't get pushed, do let me know. And you can let me know on my Facebook group, which is the Chill Out Zone for Frazzled Mums, or you can email me on transformationforwomen@gmail.com. So I really would love to have some feedback, and let me know how you got on today. Okay, So it seems like there are no questions. So that's just a short one today, and I'll see you next week at the same time, 1 o'clock on Monday for another blab. Thank you. Bye.